Hi guys, as I put out more content, I find that I get a lot of questions from different people all over the world asking me about specific things. And instead of answering all of them one by one, which I've been doing so far, I think it might be more helpful if I just put out a video and answer the questions here on video. A lot of the questions are asking the same things, but they're worded slightly differently or they come from a different angle. So I think it might help to just consolidate all of those questions and try to answer as many as I can here on video. Some of these questions are specifically asking about specific forms or specific content I've released or specific online courses that I'm advertising, and some of them are more general. But I think what I'll do is I'll answer the questions in a more holistic way, so the answer is relevant to people who are asking a specific question about a course or a form or an exercise, but also it's helpful more generally to people who want to know about a certain principle. So I get a lot of questions about the I Ching Ching and its relationship to white crane. I get questions ranging from, does this specific exercise work with the I Ching Ching, or does this course that you're advertising teach the I Ching Ching or contain I Ching Ching exercises? And to more generally, how does the I Ching Ching work within the white crane? So I've published quite a lot of content about how the I Ching Ching works within the white crane and within the Sanjian forms. But I think it's helpful to explain how I see the I Ching Ching. Again, I've done this before, but I'll do it here more specifically. So everything that I teach within the white crane system, within the tiger crane combination system, all of my teachings are based on the I Ching Ching. The I Ching Ching isn't something separate that you learn to build a certain thing or to develop a certain quality. The I Ching Ching is a thread that runs through everything I teach. So all of the different exercises, the different forms, the different qualities that we are developing are in line with the I Ching Ching, yeah? The muscle sinew changing classic. The system, as I teach it, whether it's the tiger crane combination, whether it's the Shuang Yang system, the Shaolin soft fist, whether it's the more concentrated Neigong course that I've just published, it's all teaching the I Ching Ching. Now the I Ching Ching isn't a set of exercises. Yes, there are sets of exercises called the I Ching Ching, but that's more hinting at that this is trying to develop this quality or this principle within your body. So yes. So when you ask the question, does this form teach the I Ching Ching, or does this course teach the I Ching Ching, or does this exercise teach the I Ching Ching? Everything that I teach, everything that I publish has the thread of the I Ching Ching running through it. So if we look at the I Ching Ching as a set of stairs, you know, a staircase, each exercise that I teach, each form that I teach, each thing that I talk about is a step on one of these stairs. The I Ching Ching is a process of complete body transformation. It's not a set of exercises. Yeah? So I hope that's clear. Don't confuse specific forms or specific exercises with the I Ching Ching. Yeah? As if that is also a specific form or exercise. The I Ching Ching is a quality, a principle that my whole teaching method is placed on. And as I've mentioned in a previous video that I've done about the I Ching Ching, the I Ching Ching is the foundation level of getting acquainted with your body and with your energy system. Yeah, it's building the components of your body and your energy system so that you can move onto the higher practices, so that you can move more onto the more spiritual practices. Most people are not after that, so they stop. You know, they develop an incredibly robust body in line with the I Ching Jing principles. They develop a really strong energetic system, a dantian. They're healthy, you know, they may add 15 to 20 years to their lives, I don't know, and that's enough for them. But it's a foundational practice that leads on to what is classically called the marrow brainwashing. Yeah, I always forget the Chinese name, the Qi Shui Jing or something like that. That leads on to the marrow brainwashing. That is more when we move on to the spiritual cultivation part of the practice. But again, that's not for everybody. And a lot of the courses that I have published, whether it's the Neigong course, whether it's the Tai Crane course, we're still working on the I Ching Jing. Yeah, we're still working on the body transformation. The body transformation, the energetic system. This should roughly take you, you know, to get to the foundation level, 3 years. And then to further develop, further work with the energy system, further work with the body, deepen the practice, can take you 10 years. Yeah? And then I think you can start to experiment with higher level practices. But it's not a simple path, you know, it's a spiritual practice. It's a whole cultivation path. So it can't be done in 6 months. It can't be done in 2 years. You know, 3 years, I say, and this is my own experience. Maybe I'm slow. Maybe I learned slowly. It's possible. For me, 3 years foundation level. Yeah, to just really get the body into a place where you can start doing the work, and then up to 10 years to really have that I Ching Jing process down. And again, 10 years of consistent practice, you know, daily practice. It's not something you can do once a week in a class. This needs to be your path. Yeah? Okay, next question. I've got a list of questions here, that's why I keep looking over there. Next question. Some questions about Sanjan. Do the detailed you with Sanjan internal secrets. Some questions about creating internal space and Qi. So, the Sanjan forms within the Fujian systems are, in my view, and again this is my view, are forms that are often taking away, removing the martial applications. Okay, not removing the martial applications, but not really concentrating on the combat effects, but are body transformation forms. So there are many Jan forms, or war forms, or battle forms, as some call them. And they are working specifically on building qualities within the body. So we use the Sanjan forms as a vehicle to develop the body in line with the I Ching Jing principles. So for example, we have, in our system, we have Sanjan, we have Sanjan Lima, we have Tiandi Lianjan, we have another Sanjan, which we just call the third Sanjan, just because to not mix them up with the other ones. We have Herdan, which is Crane Wars. We have I can't remember now, but we've got quite a lot of Jan forms, yeah, quite a lot of battle forms, and they develop specific things within the body, within the I Ching Ching process. We don't necessarily need to learn a different form for a different quality. What we do is we learn a form, so all of these can be contained within the first form pretty much, within the first Sanjan form. You learn within the first Sanjan form the body positioning, you learn to change the body, you learn to develop the body, you develop the lines, develop the Jinlu, you know, specific to the crane system, because every system has its own specific lines of power. You develop, you learn. Then you also begin to start to learn, okay, now the teacher will tell you, do this with your awareness while you're doing it. Put your awareness in this space or in that place. Then the teacher will say, okay, now connect the hands to the inside. So when you're doing this movement or this movement, the internals move because the palms are connected to the insides. So you're like kneading bread or shaping something. Yeah, you know, you're using your hands to shape the insides of the body, the energetic system. So people often love to learn many different forms, but you don't really need to, you know. You can peel, like an onion, peel the different layers of this one form and add in more qualities so as to improve. The addition of lots of forms, it's fun to learn forms, yeah, it's fun to learn new movements, new choreographies, new shapes, but the additions of lots of forms, I think, is to keep people interested in training, because it can get quite boring to just say, well, actually, your whole 20-year path, you actually need 3 forms or 2 forms or 1 form. You just need to keep refining it, keep refining it, keep refining it. And I think our system has over 40 forms, you know, again, because it's based on 5 different ancestors, so you've got 5 different qualities being put in, so there's lots of forms. But yeah, it's not necessary. It's not necessary. All the forms will teach, each form, if taught properly, you can develop all of the qualities within that one form. Does white crane have some governing mental concept that one adheres to in training, or does it develop specific qualities in the mind as a result of the practice? For example, does it have a concept similar to Wing Chun's snake engine and detachment, or qualities like Tai Chi's relaxation and centering, Xingyi's focus, and Bagua's abstract thinking? So first of all, my area of expertise is the Fujian systems, specifically the 5 ancestor systems, specifically Southern Crane, Southern White Crane, and Southern Taizu Chuan. Yeah, these are my area of expertise. And these are the things I like to comment on. Now, if we look at Wing Chun, I have no idea what the snake engine is, Wing Chun's snake engine and detachment. I don't know what that means. Maybe ask somebody who teaches that stuff. But in my view, and this might be a controversial view, Wing Chun is just white crane. A lot of the Chinese just call it Yong Chun. Don't even call it Wing Chun, call it Yong Chun. And Yong Chun is the home place of Southern White Crane, you know, Yong Chun in Fujian province. I've had some limited access to Wing Chun, and everything that I see from it is it's a style of white crane. You know, white crane is such a vast style that people have divided it into certain things. So you've got things like calling crane, you've got things like sleeping crane, eating crane, different kinds of crane, and they hone in on a specific quality. And I think Wing Chun is just another subset of the white crane system. That's my view. Again, maybe controversial, but that's my view. So I think a lot of the internal development that I teach in the white crane system is very applicable to Wing Chun. But yeah, I don't know. Things sometimes are called weird, funny things. Snake engine. I don't know what a snake engine is. Yeah, I don't know. Taiji, Jingyi, Bagua. Again, I'm not an expert on Taiji Chuan. I'm not an expert on Jingyi. Not an expert on Bagua. I don't even think that's, so just reading the question again, Taiji's relaxation and centering, Jingyi's focus, and Bagua's abstract thinking. So first of all, I've done Taiji for a while, specifically Yang style Taiji, and from what I understand from it, relaxation and centering isn't really what we're looking for. If you mean song, if you mean release through and not relaxation, then that should run through all systems as I understand it. Song is a very, very important system, a very, very important principle within all traditional Chinese systems, as far as I understand it. And it's very important within the crane system because song is the ability to release. Song is the ability to put your awareness somewhere and then release it to allow the chi to move. Jingyi, yeah, I don't know enough about Jingyi. Bagua, I don't know enough about Bagua. If I have questions about Taiji, Jingyi and Bagua, I ask my good friend Damo Mitchell. So I think you can go ask him these questions. I'm sure he doesn't get enough questions. But yeah, go ask him. Specific questions about my White Crane Neigung course that I've recently published. What depth does the new White Crane Neigung course go? The White Crane Neigung course that I've published should take you through the first 3 years of your foundation. Yeah? So there's 8 lessons and they should be enough for you to work on to get your body to that foundation level of the first 3 years. I will publish more. Yeah, so that's where it goes. The first 3 years of practice to develop a robust body, to start to really work with your energetic system and to build your martial dantian. That's where my White Crane Neigung course will take you. So I also have some questions about spiritual cultivation. If the goal of spiritual cultivation is not about transcending suffering, then what's it about? When I talk about spirituality or spiritual progress, I mean a very specific thing. If we look at Taoist cosmology, in the beginning there is emptiness. This emptiness, for some reason, whatever that reason is, we do not know, moves, yeah? Which causes the arising of yang energy. Because yang energy arises, because there's been movement, duality is formed. So yin automatically arises with it. So you've got yin yang, you've got taiji. From the interplay of yin and yang, you get the 10,000 things, which is creation. Yeah? So that's the cosmology of Taoism. From emptiness, from the source, comes creation. If we look at Sufi cosmology, which is another system that I'm versed in and I've trained in. In the beginning, there is the absolute in his absoluteness. Now, if we look at Hadith Qudsi, which is a controversial hadith in some Muslim quarters, but it's an important hadith in a lot of Sufism. Hadith Qudsi, which I paraphrase, says, I was a jewel or I was a gem that wanted to be known, so I created, something like that. So the idea is the absolute in his absoluteness represents God, which represents the divine, wanted to be known. Yeah, so in his infinite mercy, he wanted to bestow sentience, he wanted to bestow creation on the non-created. So through a process, creation happened, leading to us, leading to me, leading to you. Spirituality, for me, the path of spirituality is walking that path back from where we are now, at the bottom of creation, all the way up back to the source. So Sufis say the whole aim of creation is to create the perfect person. Yeah, they say the perfect man, gendered language, the perfect person. Yeah, and they use the Prophet Muhammad as an example of the perfect person, but that's just a symbol. Yeah, so what Sufis say is the perfect person is one who has walked the path back and knows the divine, is friends with the divine. Yeah, is acquainted with the divine. The initial movement of the absolute in his absoluteness to bestow sentience and knowing on the non-created was so that it can know itself. And by the action of the person going through that path back up to the source, they've completed that great work. So for me, spirituality is we've done half a circle. We've gone from emptiness to creation, and we need to complete the other half to go back to complete the full circle. To go from the created back to the divine, the source. That's spirituality to me. That's how I teach, that's what I do in my own practice. And every tradition that I've been a part of teaches this. Whether they do it properly, this is the idea that it's based on. So transcending suffering and finding equanimity and being happy, these are all markers on the path. These are all places that we need to get to. If we liken it to Kung Fu training, to be able to work with the energetic system, to be able to work with the awareness, the I and the Shen, we need to be able to have a good body in place. We need to have the foundation training in place. Then the actual work can start. And transcending suffering and finding an equanimous state of mind, having an open heart, having compassion, having love for your fellow human beings and other sentient beings, this is foundation practice. This is foundation level. This is what you need to have as a baseline to begin spiritual practice. Yeah, I think that covers it. I don't know what else I can say. Yeah, I hope that's clear. Some of these things are so difficult to describe, but I hope that's clear. Next question. You've said in the past that systems like Hermetics and other magical systems don't have a coherent path to spirituality. Can you please explain? So in my 20s, I was initiated into a number of different magical systems here in London. And the paths that the magical systems take is often based on the Kabbalistic tree of life. Yeah. So if you look at Kabbalah, the Jewish oral tradition that's passed down, it's based on that system of progress. Now, if done properly, yeah, which some people call high magic, if done properly, there is a coherent path, yeah, because you work on the different elements within your body, and then you get through the abyss, and then you pass through into the higher levels. The problem is the path is often taught by magicians instead of mystics. And what I mean by that is a lot of the concentration is on low magic, not high magic. So on sorcery, on trying to do spells, on trying to create change in the mental sphere, in the astral sphere. A spiritual path, in my view, should not be concerned with any of that. A spiritual path should be clear-sighted on its aim of back to the source. Yeah? Back to the source. Because there are, if I use a Taoist terminology, creation is 10,000 things. Yeah? It's obviously more than 10,000, but that's just the terminology to represent many. There are many, many wonders, yeah, within the created world, and also the realms that we cannot see. Many wonders, many powers one can develop. But these are distractions. These are distractions on a spiritual path. If you're not on a spiritual path, fine, go and explore angelic magic. Go and explore demonology. Go and explore Enochian magic. I don't know, anything you want to do, you know, talismanic magic, whatever you want to do. It's fine, and it's powerful. But specifically, if you're interested in a spiritual system, magical systems have too many distractions, Instead of helping you still the created world, what they do is they tell you to engross yourself in it and change it. This is a simplistic explanation, but basically that's what's going on. After foundation training, a spiritual path is deeper and deeper and deeper levels of stillness. That's all it is, deeper and deeper and deeper levels of absorption. Working with engaging the mind, engaging the energies that are around us are counter to this. You cannot still your mind while you are trying to create or recreate. A Sufi saying is, to become a true believer in God, you must become a true unbeliever in self. Magical systems often are boosting and growing the ego and the self, because it's giving you power that other people may not have, mental power, energetic power. And if your foundation training isn't correct to understand the place of these powers and these abilities within the greater scheme of things, then you're going to get very lost. But I think inevitably anybody who is on a magical path, who increasingly wants to engage with a spiritual path, they veer away from magical systems and tend to go towards more devotional systems like Sufism, like yoga, you know, like Qigong, because they understand that they need to still the mind. There's a few more questions, but I think that's enough for today. I don't know how this is going to come out. I hope it's helpful. I hope I've answered questions, or maybe I'm just saying things that people don't understand. It's possible. But yeah, let me know if this has been helpful. And if you have other questions, send them to me either in the comments or by email, and I can do other ones of these in future. Thank you.